back and forth.
This segment is sponsored by Rethink Water.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Leader in water choices.
A liter of litered water. You know, they talk about water in boxes. I think.
Yeah, there you go.
And why did Snapple go plastic after all these years of being glass?
Yeah.
Why was that their choice?
Yeah, wrong choice.
I don't know, because I've seen some plastic that's biodegradable and some that's not. And I feel like it's just back and forth between trees or plastic, and one's biodegradable, one. It's a weird battle.
Yeah.
What the right decision to make is.
My parents were killed in this battle many years ago.
Oh.
Yeah.
Rodrigo Ojeda-Beck. What are you trying to make? Is that? Are you joking around here?
Yeah.
Is that your idea of a joke? Your parents are listening, for God's sake. No, they're not. They were killed. Robert.
Machoian.
Don't do that. I was going to pull it out. Machoian. Robert Machoian. This for those listening already. I probably mentioned it in my lead up to the segment, but we did this interview, most of which you'll hear in a minute. This is like our new intro to our existing interview, right?
Yeah.
Where we're going to talk. We're sitting in the Roxy Hotel in Tribeca, right around the time of your Tribeca premiere, I guess.
Yeah.
And you're having, actually, as we sit here in Montclair, New Jersey, at the Montclair Film Festival, you're leaving here shortly to go back for your last screening at Tribeca, right? Yeah. I can't believe it. It's been 4 or 5 weeks of Tribeca Film Festival, and this is your 17th screening. Congratulations about that.
Thanks.
Your film is called When She Runs, where you're going to, people listening, you're going to hear the majority coming up. You'll hear a very different sounding interview because we were in a busy spot with music playing in the background and all that.
Yeah. In
the middle of the Tribeca Film Festival, and we'll talk with your dad, who's going to make a cameo appearance on this, not only in your film but in the podcast. So, but we had I'm going to take full responsibility. I had a bit of a technical issue, a glitch, where part of the recording was unfortunately damaged. So, thank you guys for meeting up again.
No problem. Our pleasure.
Trying to support independent filmmaking by some of the finest independent filmmakers working today.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome.
Flattered.
So you shot this film. It's called When She Runs, and it's a bit of a. Would you be fair to call it a hybrid film?
Yeah.
Would it?
It's more narrative than it is a hybrid.
Yeah. Is it scripted?
Kind of. Yeah.
Okay, Robert.
So you're
being vague.
Yeah.
And non-committal.
I think we didn't have a script,
Right.
so it's all very improv based. But I mean, we still structured it, and we thought of scenes, and then we'd go out and shoot, and try to pull a lot from. Kirsten, our main actress, was actually training during the film, so pulling from her experiences. So I think some of that
set it up a little bit.
Yeah,
because Kirsten is. There's 4 of you who. Two of the team are, in a sense, absent from this whole conversation. Producer Laura Heberton, and your lead actor, Kristin Anderson, who plays your main character. So you're saying she's training as a runner, as a competitive runner, but back it up and just explain the story a little bit.
Yeah, the film is about a young woman who's wants to be a professional runner. It's kind of her dream and her passion, and life's responsibilities keep getting in her way. And so the film has a lot of her training, and she runs a little but not much. She had to train for the film. So then we were able to pull a lot of her experiences through the training process into the film. So we didn't really have a script, so we wanted to invite reality in. So a lot of the little anecdotes she'd tell us, a lot of the struggles she had, would make its way into the film. And so in that sense, I feel like it has kind of a hybrid kind of feel, because she's training for the role and she's training in the film. But that being said, I think maybe compared to some of our previous work, it's a little more structured and a little more narrative.
Right, conventionally narrative in that way.
Yeah.
In the film, she's living she's sort of someone was once part of the middle class, which is kind of, you feel is something that's, evaporating in front of us. And she kind of represents that whole class of people who are trying to hang on to a middle class type of life, but has dreams, believes from all the messages that they got that their life is ahead of them. There are great things to look forward to. And maybe as she's starting to get older, she realized, she's still a very young woman, of course, but that she better act on it. And she makes a very tough decision to live apart from her partner, her husband, and the father of her and her toddler son. Now, those people that are playing her husband and the toddler, are those in fact really her child? And
no.
Okay.
So the little
completely convinced that they were.
Oh, great.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Yeah, the little guy's my son, who was also on God Bless the Child, and then Ivan Garing's my cousin, and he had some interest in acting, so we kind of sat with him and wanted to see if he was interested, which I thought he did a great job.
Okay, so this is a work of fiction.
Yeah, for sure.
Why are we even talking about hybrid?
Well, because there's things like my dad in it, for example. He tells a story, and that's a real story. Okay, that's definitely his story. Right. And then she works at an ice shack, and she was really, even though she didn't work there.
What's an ice shack for those who live up in I don't know, anywhere in the United States, other than where you're living? Because I don't, I've never heard of it. I've seen these things, these icy treats. Shaved ice.
Yeah. So in the Provo area, it's funny.
Okay.
People are really
Isn't it cold enough over
sweets there? Yeah, but the summer's warm. Okay. And so these little shacks are these small startup businesses that just exist during the summer, where people sell shaved ice with with flavors on them. Right. And a lot of people in the area who have interest in small business kind of start there, because it's low risk. You can buy the shack for a few $1,000s.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that's a thing.
Yeah, and you normally work with they normally are on parking lots. So they work with the landlord. Mm-hmm. Normally they work out a deal. And then they just sell safe dives. So it's a good way for someone to experiment in small business. And so
there was entrepreneurial.
Yeah. And so Kirsten's character is actually running one. And we wanted that kind of storyline where she's just trying to be a successful person in kind of all avenues, and in that area those are really low risk, and so we thought it'd be great to kind of, most of the people that run them are middle class people.
But Kirsten, the character Anderson, she spends the majority of her waking hours training, and by training not just doing real practice running, but working out at the gym, diet. Mm-hmm. Focusing on it's a huge commitment of most of her time. So the fact that she also works in this, what do you call it, ice shack? Ice shack. There's no downtime. Right. There's a lot, and there's a lot of strain, a lot of pressure on her to make this all work. She's made a lot of big decisions to make this plan, put this plan in place, and so there's a lot on the line. There's a lot on the line for her.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was big for us, just to see her process, like you said earlier, about the dying middle class and trying to do these two things and work through them, both be a mother, hold down a job, but then also pursue your passion, outside of those things. And I think for us, one of the main motivations to make the film was to kind of use that story structure kind of as a metaphor for our own experience. We both work separate jobs and make indie films, and it's always a sacrifice to balance between that profession and family and the thing we love to do. So to have Kirsten represent that was a big kind of motivation for us to choose this story, and also I think it worked super well as a vehicle to be able to explore some of our own struggles when we make films. So that's kind of some of the impetus for the film, and how much tension you feel and on her characters, I think how we feel.
You get a sense that she's very isolated, that she doesn't have anybody around her really supporting what she's doing, so she really has to believe in herself. And I could see, as an independent filmmaker, the parallel there. Right. How many films do you have to make before at the family gatherings do you not get a kind of that patronizing, are you still making your films? And, I'm sure people are very supportive in your families, don't get me wrong. But, you got to really see beyond that and have a real vision for yourself, and, not wait for others to make that for you.
I mean, for me, it was really interesting watching the documentary on David Lynch. And when he was making Eraserhead,
the art of Lynch, is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And he tells a story about his dad.
It's a great film.
Just like pulling him aside and being like, "You gotta stop. Like this needs to end. It need to be done."
Yeah.
And like how devastating that had to be. I mean, he kind of tells stories throughout that. His father just kind of like trying to get him to like see the light. And I thought
the father had the last laugh, of course.
Yeah. And I thought it was just really, that is the life of an artist or someone that's pursuing your dreams. It's like, it's encouraged for a period of time. And then slowly the people that are supporting fade away and you do spend a period of time on your own.
Well, it threatens people, too, on some level. I feel like, one thing we see, it's a little complicated because, we see the husband and who's the father of their toddler, your son, give her mixed signals about whether he really supports what she's doing and the decisions she's made and the sacrifices involved that they both make. I think he wants to support her, but he's in a situation, he's because he wants her probably to be home and also maybe her getting more in her life and succeeding is also on some level could be a threat to him. Potentially.
Totally. Yeah, it's kind of one of those things that we were really curious to look at, because the whole film's building up to this kind of time trial she's going to run. And the question we were asking ourselves constantly is, well, what does it mean if she succeeds or doesn't succeed at that race? Because it's either way, it's not the end. And so then a lot of that was, how do we end the film that way? Well, allowing the audience to understand that a lot of these kind of dramas are going to continue beyond just this one kind of event. So that was a big thing for us. Was how do we convey that to the audience as far as like, it's not just dealing with something for 48 hours, but dealing with that burden of dreaming for however long she's going to keep pursuing that.
I'm seeing a lot of films recently, or a number of films that are kind of, grappling with the American dream in a way. I feel like this, and it's doing it in a very quiet, introspective way. There's something very respectful and generous. We're seeing average everyday Americans portrayed in a respectful way in films like yours, and it's nice, it's refreshing, it's a I'm reminded of I saw The Rider recently. I did a segment with the filmmaker, film. Very beautiful film, and these are it's an interesting, these are like snapshots of where we're at as a culture right now. Again, the film is called When She Runs, co-directed by Robert Machoian and Rodrigo Ojeda-Beck.
That's good.
Now that we've set the stage, whatever we've done, I'm going to play the rest of the interview that we did the other day in Tribeca at the hotel in the lounge with your dad and just us kibitzing around. But it was a great conversation, so I'm glad we had the majority of it, and we can go to it right now. I think all said, we'll have a nice overall discussion about When She Runs. And I think, did we mention, just to be safe, do you have another festival coming up?
Well, we
that you can mention?
World premiere, Tribeca. We're at Montclair now. We had our international premiere at Bafisi in Argentina.
Wow.
Atlanta, River Run. And
these all already took place?
Most of these took place.
Nashville's next.
Oh,
Nashville's the next one.
That's coming right up then.
Yeah. Barrage. Very crazy April for us.
Yeah.
It's good. Good crazy. Thank you.
So getting back to Kristin, she helped produce.
Kristin Anderson,
so she worked. She actually helped on God Bless the Child. She helped on sound and did some producing as well. And she's always had an interest in acting, but has been really nervous about as far as being a female and positions that she might be put in. So she kind of avoided acting as she got older.
You mean hashtag type of things?
Yeah. And so we kind of, her and I began to discuss kind of a movie that she might be able to play the lead in. And then we kind of came up with an idea and discussed it with Rod. And then we all kind of, the three of us worked together to kind of create a narrative she could be a part of.
Right. Well, she's obviously very natural. It's a very naturalistic performance. I mean, I don't know.
She's pretty amazing.
What a diva she was to work with, but
very, very easy to work with.
Easy to work with.
Yeah. At least she's such a good actress. She pretended to not be a diva for the entire time we were shooting, so double props there.
Exactly, and I'm sure there's an award category for that somewhere. But she, it's like 48 hours in her life, I guess, this character, where she's got this big trial coming up, meaning running heat, as they call them. It's a right, which is like you say, early in a very low level tier in the huge process of getting to the Olympics, which is the ultimate dream. And she has been going through this grueling preparation and doing everything right. And I mean, she made some very difficult choices, as we mentioned before, to get so she could put her mind on that and all of her focus on that, and then she's actually achieving it. So we kind of feel like she's a really a very, very able-bodied person, and physically as well as mental.
Oh, for sure.
Because those two things are coexist when you're training, right? And then it's like, I don't know. I'm going to be very careful moving forward from here, but there is a late in the film moment where insecurity really kicks in and almost gets the better of her, right? I guess you could say.
Yeah, I think totally. Yeah, I definitely think insecurity is the right word for it. I think it's just such a hard process to stay so focused for such an extended period of time.
And the world is not always working with you.
No.
You're focused. It doesn't mean the world is helping you.
Right, yeah. And it's kind of interesting. Like Robert kind of mentioned this earlier, but Kristin was training for the role, and we didn't really have a script for this film. The three of us kind of constantly were talking about specific scenes, really leaning on our experiences and her experiences to kind of put together a narrative. So it was really great to see what was challenging for her. And like you said, like at what points in her experience through the training process did it seem that life was going against her, and how did she feel during those moments? So it was very much made as we went along and really leaned on that kind of reality. And so when we talk about if something's a hybrid or not, for us, it's like even though this might feel more like a narrative film rather than a doc, the main influence is kind of this very real experience and watching Kristin go through that real experience, and then the three of us putting our heads together and coming up with a narrative. So
we watch, we certainly have the training is one thing, but the actual denouement, the end of the film is this track, Meet the Race. I'm going to just call it a race. That was real. Or was it?
No.
It was all staged.
Staged the race,
You motherfucker. You guys are really good. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we staged the race. I think when we go back to that, I know formally that whole race, we talked about trying to get it in as few shots as we could. So I think the entire race sequence happens in 3 shots, probably already happening in 1. So trying to get that sense of reality and kind of being in the moment with her was really paramount for us when we approached, how to put together that scene.
And in a way, I don't want to give away anything. I'm not going to, but you realize after that scene, it's kind of almost beside the point,
right?
Which is a real sort of another clever little conceit you guys kind of decided to. Then it dawns on you, this is really not about. This is more about what she's had to put herself through, and this kind of penultimate section of the film where is grappling with her insecurity. That's kind of what it's more about. That part of those parts of her personality at odds.
Oh, for sure.
I think.
Yeah,
the super achiever and this really highly insecure person.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're looking at a specific type of person, but I think we're also looking at, I guess highly goal-oriented individuals, and that constant drive in a direction takes a lot of discipline and takes a lot of, never letting up, I guess, is kind of what happens with her. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah,
I think we're really interested in that.
And when I was, Laura, she contacted me, Laura Heberton, who's the producer of the film, but she really made a point of saying this film is the result of a collaboration of the 4 of you, really in equal parts, in equal measure. Almost.
Yeah, I think Laura's been working with us now for a few years, and it's really just become part of the team. And I think similarly with Kristin started out as an intern on God Bless the Child, our last feature. We've worked with her on a few projects now, and now we get to work with her in a more artistic capacity. I think Laura's been very similar, kind of coming on as a producer, and now really kind of being more involved in the making of the film. So we really like to present our films as being made by a group of people rather than individuals. And so, yeah, it's definitely a team. We take on a lot of responsibility between the four of us.
Right, and then you could spread the blame too.
Exactly.
You know, when that happens.
That's the main reason. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I understand.
Yeah. That's why we brought Laura on. You know?
Yeah. And my dad here.
Especially, you spoiled my surprise. I was about to say we have a surprise that if for people that are going to see the film, and they are going to because it's premiering at Tribeca Film Festival 2018, where we find ourselves today. It's a world premiere, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Right, for the When She Runs, which is the name of the film. And we're joined by Bruce Graham.
Yep.
Oh, thank you. Bruce Graham's here, who is the real star of the film.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah. Most confident.
Bruce,
yeah.
Bruce is one of the actors in the film. At one point, Kirsten is. I'm going to not remember exactly the details of it. You can fill me in, but she finds a lost dog, and then she finds the tags, and then she returns the dog to the owner, and that's when she meets you.
Yes, I'm the owner of one of the best actors in the film, the dog Rex.
He was busy. He's doing press in another place, so we couldn't get him. But we have you, Bruce.
I'm glad to be here.
Is this your first acting gig?
No. I did like live theater, but small town stuff, and then I played.
Acting is acting. Don't demean it.
Okay. And I've been in some of Robert's movies when he was in school, and then I was in his first feature. I played a guy whose wife had died, and Rex the dog and I have a scene together in that movie as well. So
it's a reunion.
It is.
Co-stars, big friends. Really hit it off on that film. I'm glad to be working with each other again on this one.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, you often bring the dog cheese, which is maybe why he loves you so.
The dog likes me a lot because he's not my dog, but I feed him in the movies all the time. So.
Well, who's Rex's? Who belongs to Rex? I guess
Robert.
My kids.
Oh, okay.
They're my kids.
Was Rex in God Bless the Child too?
Yeah.
Okay,
he's played a role in all three films as well, which is
the
great.
one through line. Well, I guess you've been in all the movies.
I've been in all three.
Bruce
too.
had a small but interesting role in God Bless the Child too. He was a creepy guy in a field. This is a role he spent a lot of time preparing for.
That's your IMDb title.
Yeah, I got to play against one of my grandchildren, and it was really fun.
Yeah, it was funny because the grandchild was Elias. He was a character in that film, and he had to bully Bruce. And so we just let him kind of ad-lib. And a few takes in, it started getting pretty nasty. Talking about changing Bruce's diaper, old man. After a few takes, I just saw Bruce, and he was just trying not to cry. I feel like just 30 takes of getting beat up by an 8-year-old is pretty brutal.
Yeah.
Did it bring back memories of being bullied as a kid? Is that what happened? The scars came?
Yeah, I was trying to pass on my heritage to my grandson. That was fun, though. I did this thing to him where he came in real close on one of the takes, and I grabbed him by the shirt. I caught him by the shirt and pulled him in really close to me, and I gritted my teeth, and I said, "Hey, kid." And so from every take after that, he wouldn't come within arm's length of me.
Yeah.
Pretty good creepy
guy.
guy.
You were quite good in When She Runs, and you have a relatively. Since I was struggling to remember the whole monologue, but I do remember you have a monologue in it, which is a nice kind of break from the. It kind of breaks the tone a little bit for a minute there. It's nice,
for sure.
It's kind of a nice, welcome little moment in the film, or part of the film. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it's funny, when we were putting the film together, there's just so few shots in this film. I think there's like 72 or 77 total. It's a 70-minute film. So it's pretty sparse. And I remember when we were putting the film together, we ended up having these kind of musical moments. There's a few songs, 3 songs that are sung in this film. You almost create these kind of natural breaks. So Bruce plays the trumpet, which we always saw as kind of
there's the Around Midnight. I don't know how I didn't even remember. Like I was thinking he's playing the entire song Around Midnight on the trumpet. which was kind of strange to play the whole thing right through, but it was really affecting and effective, I guess. I play that on guitar.
You play guitar?
Yeah.
I do too.
Well, you're a good trumpet player, though.
Thank you. I'm very insecure about that. Robert gave me. I used to play every day, and I retired, and I was on vacation. I was getting ready to leave the country, so my trumpet was in a box somewhere. And Robert says, "Hey, why don't you play around midnight?" And I said, "Well, that's not an easy song, and I haven't played for like 3 months now." And he says, "I said, I'll practice it. I have to download the music and stuff." And so I said, "I don't know if I want to." And so he says, "So tomorrow, how about that?" So I don't get any warm up or anything. It's like, okay, play. So I'm real insecure about the way it turned out.
Well, don't be. It's good you didn't practice. I think it's all good. No, but it keeps it very, I don't know. Then you have to lean on I don't know. I don't want to say it's an emotional performance because I don't know if it's an emotional performance quite, but there's something raw about it which works.
Yeah.
I know.
Definitely
something about
feels
it.
cohesive with the rest of the film.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Like clearly this guy's not a pro, but there's something there. There's something in the performance.
Yeah.
Where there was a lot of heart in it. When She Runs is opening at a theater near you. We'll just say that.
We hope.
For good luck. All right, guys. Well, this is the second visit. Just consider it second of many, I hope.
Hopefully.
Great time, Bruce.
Hope so too.
Love to be on here.
And that'll be great.
Awesome.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Great to be on.
Thank you.